would say I've been drawing since I was 4. You know, that's when I became very conscious of things around me. You know, like drawings on the wall, paintings on the wall, locals, women that would paint their houses every 5 days or every market day or during festivals. And also there are places of worship, traditional worships that are nicely and well decorated. And I was always fixated with this, you know, so I would go there and examine the patterns and everything, then go back to repeat them by using charcoal from the fireplace, pretty much, until I laid my hands on pencils and pens. I went to spend my holiday with an uncle in the city, and he asked me what did I want. So instead of asking for the usual football or something, I requested for a poster color, which came in 6 colors, primary colors and 2 extra that were secondary colors. And I still remember pretty well, and I came home. When I came home from the holidays, I pretty much exhausted that poster color in 1 day because I just didn't stop painting and drawing and everything. I'll go through my drawing book in 2 days. When I was maybe about 10 or so, I would use a plastic camera because I have an uncle who is an established and a famous photographer, and I grew up in a home full of pictures, like images and everything. So I would take a plastic camera that they give, that you buy for kids, you know, I would use it and tell my friends to stay. I would take pictures of them and go back and mimic as if I'm drawing on a 4x6 paper and give it back to them, like, oh, your picture is ready, just like the photographers would do. You know, what we're talking about just now on reading and all of this, this is production, that is research and all this thing. So it's all different. In Ghana, you will also have some lines and all those things. Symbols, these are symbols that come together. They are the ABC that are there from, I'll say, a language that is extinct, you know. So we just now kind of like revisiting that language that is extinct in our own different ways, in a more visually appealing, or a visual communications with what we are doing with the lines. People have painted faces before, people have used lines before. You have Uche Okeke, you have Obiora Odechukwu, you have even El back in the days using lines and all of these things from the Uli school, from the Nsukka school. You know, you have these people, you know. So, but what are you doing a little bit differently from what has been done before, you know? So you have to look at that. So my advice to a lot of younger artists is just keep doing it. I mean, like, satisfy yourself first. I enjoy what I do. If I don't enjoy it, I paint over it. I would say the people that saw my work first and I really appreciated it first were the villagers, where I grew up. I still owe them a big thanks, and however you want, I'm grateful to them. But there's a particular person who is my brother's friend. He was actually the first person to call me an artist, even before I knew what the word meant. His name is John. I've been to Dakar Biennale, which is one of the biggest art events in the continent, in 2016, when I created the prayer room, which has really been well received around the world, which has made people to still reach out to me to see what I can do. We were 3 artists, Pejo Alatishe, Kudu Sonikeku, and myself, So my last show was in November, December, that just ended in London, which was a Tyburn gallery, called In the Kingdom of This World. So I was looking at the duality of kingdoms, the United Kingdom as opposed to Benin Kingdom, and kind of like referencing history, because I reference history a lot, I reference memory a lot, I reference nostalgia, and then I bring that to play on the politics of the day, because whatever politics is happening today is going to be the history of tomorrow, So I look at it from that perspective, So I'm coming from Benin Kingdom, which used to be an independent nation until the British came in 1897 and forced us to relinquish that, took our king to exile.
And so I'm drawn to his work especially because of that. Not necessarily because the work is beautiful, because they are, but how do you use beauty as a way to question something more, I guess, fundamental than appearances.
I'm drawn to Victor Ehikhamenor's work for a number of reasons, but when I think of his project, I think his grand project is about clarity, in the sense of engaging the past and how it directly correlates to the present. As we know, and as I believe, myths do not make things disappear, as Roland Barthes said, they only distort. So in that sense, I think Victor's work engages with trying to clarify things. And in that respect, I mean, as a number of the works we've seen today, and the concept of his lines, and as we know, the line is the shortest path between two distances.
It's a way of me giving back to the community, you understand? So I'm not big on going to look for grants and stuff like that. I believe that we can find a way to not wholly rely on grants and stuff like that, So why I did that in the way that if somebody looking for a place to stay that is not an artist comes and all of that, they pay for it, then we're able to subsidize or we're able to give to free to somebody that is coming there to do research, art-based, but is going to give back to the community, like give workshops, free workshops to artists. If you're a curator coming in and we give it to you for a week to stay, you have to give back to the communities. As I remember telling the woman, but that engagement led me to something which cannot be quantified monetarily, because the woman said, no, I don't have the money to buy from you right now, but I will introduce you to an artist in Washington, D.C. who knows who can buy it and everything. And that led me to the person that mentored me throughout my stay in America. His name is Bernard Brooks, an African-American artist who has been to Nigeria, been to Osogbo, knows a whole lot, introduced me to Smithsonian, to other art collectors in DC and all of that. So again, I tell young artists that whatever disappointment you are looking at in your career is really not a disappointment. It's something you have to open your eye to see, what does that thing that you call disappointment, what did it lead to? Okay, so that woman, if she had bought it, had the money to buy it, maybe I wouldn't have met Okuboni, maybe I wouldn't have known how to price my works, maybe I would never know how to be rigorous with my works and things like that.
If this is your first time watching Africa Films Network on YouTube, like, share, and make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification button so as not to miss out on inspiring and exclusive content.